London, England, July 1888. 2 months before the horrific Whitechapel killing spree began, an American named Francis Tumblety arrived in the city, although this was not his first trip to London.
In the dark, gaslit alleys of 19th century London, a shadow moved undetected, leaving behind a trail of horror that baffled investigators and terrified the public. Jack the Ripper, one of history's most notorious serial killers, was never caught, despite the countless manhunts and investigations. But what if his ability to disappear wasn't just a stroke of luck? What if he had a secret weapon, one that allowed him to walk through the crowded streets unnoticed even moments after his brutal crimes? Today, we uncover one of the most chilling theories surrounding the Ripper's reign of terror: his secret disguise. Could this have been the key to his ability to vanish without a trace? The idea that he blended into society using strategic disguises is not just speculation. It's a theory backed by witness statements, crime scene observations, and the sheer mystery of how he managed to evade one of the largest manhunts in history. Let's explore the disturbing possibilities that might explain how the Ripper stayed one step ahead of the law. Jack the Ripper's mysterious vanishing act. Between August and November of 1888, Jack the Ripper carried out a series of gruesome murders in London's Whitechapel district. Despite multiple eyewitnesses, not a single person was ever able to provide a concrete description of the killer. Some saw a man in a dark coat, others described a figure dressed in finer clothing, while some believed he was just another working-class laborer. The inconsistencies in these reports suggest one thing: Jack the Ripper did not always look the same. Many serial killers operate by blending into their surroundings, but Jack the Ripper took it a step further. His ability to slip away so seamlessly after committing such violent crimes indicates that he may have used disguises to manipulate public perception. Whether dressing as a professional, a figure of authority, or even someone completely unexpected, the Ripper's secret to eluding capture may have been right in front of everyone the whole time. The butcher or medical professional theory. One of the most widely accepted theories is that Jack the Ripper disguised himself as a butcher or a surgeon. The mutilations of his victims were not just brutal. They displayed a level of precision that suggested anatomical knowledge. His ability to remove organs with speed and accuracy led many to believe that he had experience in either medicine or slaughterhouse work. In Victorian London, it was common to see butchers walking around in blood-stained aprons. If Jack the Ripper had dressed as a butcher, he could have easily walked away from a murder scene covered in blood without anyone questioning him. The same could be said for medical professionals, particularly surgeons who performed procedures under far from sanitary conditions. Could it be that the Ripper simply blended into the streets as someone who handled blood daily? Adding to this theory is the fact that some of the Ripper's victims had their organs removed with such precision that police initially suspected a doctor or medical student. In fact, one of the most infamous suspects, Dr. Thomas Neil Cream, was a convicted serial killer with medical training. Could Jack the Ripper have been a skilled doctor using his profession to disguise his sinister activities? The police officer disguise theory. Another haunting theory suggests that Jack the Ripper may have posed as a police officer. Many of his victims were prostitutes who were often wary of strangers, yet they willingly went with their killer without a struggle. If he had been wearing the uniform of a constable, this could explain why they trusted him. Several witnesses reported seeing a man dressed in a long coat resembling that of a police officer near crime scenes, but no official records ever confirmed a road officer being on duty during those times. A fake uniform could have given the Ripper the perfect cover to approach women without raising suspicion. More importantly, it would have allowed him to leave crime scenes without being stopped by actual officers. In the late 1800s, London's police force was growing, and not everyone knew every officer by face. A man in the right uniform could have blended into the night, passing unnoticed as he vanished into the darkness. This chilling possibility raises a disturbing question. Was Jack the Ripper hiding among those who were searching for him? The gentleman disguise. A killer among the elite? One of the most unsettling theories is that Jack the Ripper wasn't a lower-class laborer or a common criminal, but rather a well-dressed gentleman, perhaps even an aristocrat. This theory is based on the idea that in Victorian society, wealth and status provided a form of immunity. If the Ripper had been a man of means, he could have walked through Whitechapel undetected, with no one suspecting him of such gruesome crimes. This theory is further fueled by the fact that the police focused much of their attention on the lower-class population, assuming the killer must be an impoverished local. But what if their assumptions were wrong? Some of the most infamous suspects in the case, such as Sir William Gull, the royal physician, were men of status who could have used their position to move freely without being questioned. Additionally, witness reports described a man seen with one of the victims shortly before her murder. He was well-dressed and distinguished in appearance, certainly not the kind of person authorities were targeting in their investigations. Could Jack the Ripper have been a man of wealth who hid behind his refined image while carrying out his brutal acts? Social bias and the power of disguise. What makes the disguise theory so compelling is that it plays into Victorian-era biases. People in 1888 London had rigid ideas about who could and couldn't be a criminal. A butcher covered in blood, a surgeon in a white coat, a police officer patrolling the streets, or a wealthy gentleman. None of these figures would have immediately aroused suspicion. Jack the Ripper's ability to vanish into thin air suggests that he used these biases to his advantage, appearing as someone people would never suspect. Could this have been the ultimate trick, using society's own assumptions to remain invisible? Despite over a century of speculation, the true identity of Jack the Ripper remains one of history's most haunting mysteries. Was he a surgeon, a constable, or an unsuspected gentleman hiding behind privilege? Could it be that his disguise was so effective that he walked among his own pursuers, laughing at their inability to see the truth? One thing is certain, his ability to disappear so effortlessly suggests that he was more than just a killer. He was a ghost in the crowd. What do you think? Could Jack the Ripper's secret disguise have been the reason he was never caught? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into history's most chilling mysteries. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.